is awesome, and I'm dying to know who's doing the balloons. That's really, really cool. I don't know if everyone's noticed all the beautiful balloons. Really cool. Our next storyteller tonight has also been on the MothUp stage, but not for a while. He's been away for a little bit. We'd love to invite Mr. Ken Wolfe to the stage.
I am the second teacher story of the night. Take that as you will. Yeah, there you go. 20 years ago, I got my own classroom, and I decided what teacher I was going to be. And as things happened, it never really turned out quite that way. I remember going to the Missouri Middle School Conference down at Tantera, and sitting in the big room with all the cheap convention chairs and listening to the keynote speaker. And I remember looking around and saying, I'm not going to be one of these people. I'm not going to. I'm not going to be like every man I see in here. Overweight, balding, and with facial hair. It's not going to be me. And you know, there are two kinds of ways that a teacher can be remembered. You can either be remembered by giving kids a lot of attention and getting a lot of praise for giving kids a lot of attention, being caring and giving kids a lot of attention. And then the other way is by being creepy and giving the kids a lot of attention. And there's a fine line between those, you'd be surprised. But no, that's not what I mean. Story for another night. But anyway, there was a boy named Tom. Tom had decided that 7th grade was as far as he needed to go. He had done what he needed to do. He had gone as far as he needed to go. Didn't need to know anything beyond 7th grade. And in 7th grade, he stopped. There's an old proverb that says you can't push a rope. And if a kid doesn't want to learn, kid's not motivated himself, it's hard to get him going. And all year long, I tried to be that first teacher. I tried to be the, come on, Tom. Come on, man, you're better than this. You know you're better than this. You can do this. You know all those things that you see in the after-school specials and Mr. Holland's Opus and all that stuff? Come on, Tom. You can do this. I know you can do this. You don't want to be in 7th grade again. You want to go on to 8th grade, don't you? 8th grade, Tom. And Tom would look at me like I was trying to sell him Amway, basically. And he said, no, I'm fine. Okay. All through the year, I've got this image that if I can just get through to Tom, if I can just motivate him, then I will be that first teacher. And I will be renowned for my caring and my motivational leadership and my love for my scholars and all that stuff, and it would be wonderful and grand. But Tom wasn't having any of it. To the point that by the last day of school, Tom still hadn't done anything, was failing all of his core classes, had a B in gym. But everything else. And he was signed up for summer school, and he was going to be in 7th grade again. There was nothing that could be done. We didn't like it. He didn't seem to care all that much. But that's the way it was going to be. And on that last day of school, the last day of school is when most of the teaching really happens. That last day of school, when it's already June, and everything is really calm and relaxed, that's when the learning occurs. That really is. That's the golden hours that you can get. And I remember we invested those golden hours by playing a lot of Frisbee. It was the last day of school. There really isn't that much to do because the kids are already gone. It was June the 4th. The school had just gotten a brand new surface on the football field, and the coaches were fanatical about putting the sprinklers on every 20 minutes. So we're playing Frisbee out there, and then they'd come on. And we'd have to all get off and wait. It was 15 minutes, and then we'd get back on and keep throwing. We played some ultimate Frisbee, and it was a staff versus kids kind of thing. And that's always fun. It's because most of us are too heavy to move. And they run circles around us, and it gives them that sense of pride to take into the summer. You know, they had us for 9 months during the year. We took them on the last day. You know? And I remember my friend Scott, who was the science teacher, he took that Frisbee, and he played a lot of Frisbee golf, so he knew how to do it. And he went, and the thing sailed like Frisbees do. And Tom went running, because Tom was a good guy. That was why you could talk to him. He wasn't one of those kids who was hostile. He just didn't want to do anything else. And he was a good kid. I liked him. We got along well. He went running. I said, "No, I'm getting it." And I went running. And he went running. Running faster and faster on wet grass. And he leaped up to get it, grabbed it, came down on his knee, and slid in the grass. I didn't want to fall on him. And I know he didn't want me to fall on him. And I landed on him, and I landed on him kind of hard. Because I was, and I'm sure it's one of those things, if I had just fallen, it would have been, like having a bounce house land on you and just kind of go up. But I was trying not to fall, so I was trying to get my knee out, from under. Right. I don't remember exactly hearing a pop. Later, Tom said he did. I said, "Dude, Tom, sorry, man. I'm sorry. Oh, you caught it. You're a stud. Look at it. All right." And Tom didn't say anything. Tom was lying on the ground going, and I said, "Come on, man, get up. Come on, get up." And he went, I can't move my leg. Tom, get up. Just get up, man. Just get up. Let me help you up. Let me just help you up. I said, "I can't move my leg." And he started to go into shock. His face lost all color. And his lips turned that blue kind of color like you get when you're in the bath too long. And I remember Scott, my friend, who was a strong guy, came over and he said, "Tom, you all right?" And Tom goes, "I can't move my leg." And we just said, "Okay, stay right there." And Scott went running into the office. And I stayed with Tom, and he was starting to do this. And I thought, oh, that's it for me. That's just it for me. I will now go work at Hardee's. Thank you. I will care about whether you enjoyed your burger. Come on, you can finish it. Come on, you can do it. That's what I was going to do because my teaching was over. I especially thought it was over when the ambulance came onto the track. Yeah. The ambulance came onto the track, and the ambulance couldn't just drive to us. It had to go around the track with its siren on. I don't know if they were looking for Bruce Jenner or something to get out of the way. I don't know. And the guys came out with the gurney, and they lifted Tom onto the gurney, and I went, and they took him to St. Mary's Hospital, and I went into the office and had to explain to my principal what happened. And I told everything, just exactly. We wrote it all down, just exactly as it happened. Everything I said, everything he said, even the even put that down. Everything was on there. Everything. And then she said, "I think you ought to go to the hospital." Of course. Of course, we've called his father. Of course you have. Okay, you should. Sweetie, he's going to meet you at the hospital. Okay. That sounds fine. You can go. We'll cover your classes. You just go. So I got into my car, my little Honda Civic. And as I'm driving, all I'm thinking is of the board meeting that was going to be coming soon. The board meeting where they'd say, "Mr. Wolfe, is it true that you actually fell on Tom Shibwink because he hadn't done any work in your classes?" And I was ready to do this. I really was. I was ready to do that. I have no recollection of that, Senator, at all. So I sat in the waiting room. Tom was in the emergency room. I sat there, and And I sat there, and finally a nurse came out, and I had no fingernails left. And the nurse came out, and she said, "Are you his family?" I said, "No." No, I'm his teacher. And she looked at me like something was very wrong with this. And she said, and then he must have said, or somebody must have reported, and she said, "Oh. Come with me." So we went through the double doors, down to the back where Tom was on the bed, and he was in pain. He was just moaning, and I was sitting there. I thought I was well beyond the place where I could counsel him anymore about how to make it through. And so I just sat there and said, "Tom, you're going to be okay. I think you're going to be okay." "I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry." His dad came in, and I was ready to be chewed out. I was ready. I steeled myself. I stood there. I stood up. I said, "Hello, sir. I'm really sorry. This is my fault. It was an accident." I told him what happened. And he took a deep breath. He went, if I could do it longer, I would. It's felt like it went on a minute. And Tom was on their bed going, "Oh." And we looked at Tom, and Tom looked at his dad like, "Daddy, Daddy, are you there, Daddy?" And he looked at his son and he said, "What's right? This stuff happens to boys all the time." "Well, it sure does, but gosh, I'm sorry it happened to your boys, sir." And he said, "Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. You go home. Go back to work." And I said, "Okay, thank you." "Well, thank you, Tom. Is there anything I can do for you? Anything? Can I get you a soda? Anything at all?" And he said, No, don't worry about it." The nice thing was, of course, that Tom, well, not nice thing, but Tom ended up in a hip cast. He ended up in a hip cast, which meant, of course, that his skateboard was no good that summer. But all the work that he was allowed to do to make up for his 7th grade year got done. And by August, he was an 8th grader. Yes. So now, yes, yay for Tom. So now, 20 years in, I still find the occasional scholar who just won't do the work and doesn't want to. But somewhere in me, I have this urge to take him aside and say, "You know something, it's a nice leg you got there. A man ought to take care nothing happens to it, you know what I'm saying?" It's never come to that, though, thank goodness. That's all.